Hello everybody, welcome to this week's lesson. Today I'm going to continue a series of lessons that focuses on the four agreements. And this week our focus is on that fourth agreement, always do your best. I have three scriptures that speak into what I'll be talking about today. The first one is 1 Corinthians chapter 16 verse 14. And it reads, "Let all that you do be done in love." 2 Timothy 2:15. Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who has no need to be ashamed, rightly handling the word of truth. And Galatians 6:19. And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. Our wisdom quotes for the day is the first one is from Og Mandino. And by the way, I met Og, maybe 30 years ago. And he was such an insightful man and a marvelous author, and really and truly just exuded this energy of truth. And he writes, "Always do your best. What you plant now, you will harvest later." Now, here's the next one. Always do your best and let God do the rest. Now, I'm pretty sure that all of you remember the four agreements, but just in case you need a little refresher, the first agreement is be impeccable with your word. The second, don't take anything personally. 3, don't make assumptions. And today we're looking at number 4, always do your best. Now, over the course of these lessons, we hopefully have come to the realization that everything we invest our time and energy into produces some sort of a result. Of course, we affirm the results will bring us into a greater awareness of our creative nature. So in doing so, we are awakened to the reality that we are the ones responsible for where we invest our energy for the good of all, not just for ourselves, but for everyone in the world around us. Now, we are quickened in mind and soul to always do the best we can. For in doing so, we are going to live a life of freedom and can be a greater example of God's love for all. Don Miguel Ruiz, the author of the book The Four Agreements, suggests the fourth agreement is about taking action on the first 3 agreements. Always do your best. So under any circumstance, he suggests always do your best. No more and no less. Now, I believe that here he is speaking about keeping your life in balance. And we don't talk about that a whole lot, but I think it is key for us to be able to move forward in grace. And it means not to think toward anything in an extreme. And if you look in the world today, if you look around us, people are on one extreme or the other. And that's why we're out of balance. You see, in Ecclesiastes 7:16, we read, "Do not be too righteous, and do not act too wise. Why should you destroy yourself?" Now, the Buddha talks about the middle path, the middle way, and so that you can remain in balance within every aspect of your life. Now, we in Unity would say living a Christ-centered life produces a balanced life without having to experience the extremes that pull us in various directions. You see, living a balanced life means you live in accord with God's intention of you, for being a channel through which love, faith, hope, and truth are realized in your life. You are here to be an example of those God qualities inherent in all humankind. And by doing so, that will help manifest heaven on earth and inspire others to do the same. So it is important to realize that life is fluid. It requires us to realize our best is never going to be the same from one moment to the next. Everything is alive, and everything is changing all the time. So your best will sometimes be a real high quality, and other times it will not be as good as you would like for it to be. But that is not an excuse not to continue to do your best. Don Miguel states, when you wake up refreshed and energized in the morning, your best will be better than when you are tired at night. Your best will be different when you are healthy as opposed to being sick, or sober as opposed to being drunk. Now, I know that some of you may know this acronym, but I have found it to be very, very helpful. The acronym is HALT, HALT. And it means when you find yourself hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, you will find yourself out of balance for any of those reasons, remember to halt. Stop. Take a breath. Come back to center. Your best will depend on whether you are feeling wonderful and happy, or upset and angry, or jealous. In your everyday activities, you need to understand that your moods will influence your best. So after working with the 4 agreements, you will discover your best will become better than it used to be. Remember, regardless where you are mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in this moment, do the best you can in that moment. Doing your best is not about perfection. Let me repeat that again. Doing your best is not about perfection. I know a lot of people who are perfectionists, and they are miserable. So listen, doing your best is not about perfection. It is about growing and becoming better each and every day of your life, knowing that you will never reach that highest pinnacle, but it is certainly something to go toward. Now, when you try too hard to do your best, you are expending much more energy than you need to. The result will be, in the end, it will never be enough, and it will wear you down and get you off balance. Sometimes you will become angry. Sometimes you will just throw your hands up and just walk away. You see, that will help you also to get back into balance. But why go there? The same is true if you're not doing what you were guided to do. There is something within us that when we know that needs to be done and we don't do it, then we are not living in integrity. And so therefore, we are off balance as well. At present, many are unknowingly participating in creating this world of extremes through the polarization of our thoughts to become so crystallized in our thinking. I want to be very, very, very clear on this point. Friends, it is not God versus Satan, but rather humanity's individualized ego stance that divides us. You see, the division starts inside us when our ego is running our life. The more we are run by our ego, the more we are subject to the world of duality. And actually, we are giving power to and we are participating in creating even more division. And is that what you want? The ego believes in a world of separation, a consciousness of there is me and there is you, there is us and there is them, an illusionary world of opposites and separation. When the outside world is in chaos, seldom does one realize that chaos is within them first. And unfortunately, when the chaos shows up, it is a manifestation of what is going on within us. In order to bring balance to this world, the ego tries to order the outside world. Now let me just put it this way. Do you know anybody who's really bossy, tells you the way you have to do things? And I know, what do you do when someone does that to you? Don't you kind of stand up and go, oh yeah, watch me? But ordering and demanding the outside world to be in alignment with whatever it is that you think is right, it never really works. It is like demanding a cat to do what you want them to do. Remember that the absolute truth is the outer world is a reflection of our inner world. So what does work to bring you back into balance? How about if it is to move your attention towards seeking the presence of God that is at the center of your being? You see, when your ego is out of control, you are not centered. Here is a clue as to when your ego is trying to run the show. Observe yourself closely. And if you find yourself holding the mindset that people, places, and things have to be a certain way, I suggest that you realize that your thoughts and emotions are most likely out of balance. But by going within and calling upon the Christ essence of your being to be revealed, moves you out of a world of extremes to a place of peace, a place of hope, a place of love, wisdom, and balance. Living in one extreme or another has never worked, and it can never work because life, by its very nature, comes from the realm of balance. There is no conflict in the mind of God. Just do your best in every moment. Remain centered the best you can in the love of God, and the world will unfold as it is supposed to, for the highest and best for all concerned. Now know, when I say that, it may not show up the way you want it, but you can be assured that it is for the highest and best for that individual soul and the world. So, in every circumstance in your life, just do your best. And it doesn't matter if you are sick or tired. If you always do your best, there is no way you can judge yourself. And if you don't judge yourself, there is no way that you are going to suffer from guilt, blame, and self-punishment. By always doing your best, you will break a big spell that you have been under. Now, years ago, I was involved in a business that ended up going bankrupt. During my part of the ownership of the company, I focused on doing my best in every area that I was responsible for. And it was a rather large business. So there were many different departments, but I had my area, and I did the best I could. I focused on that. And I was responsible for all those things that went on in that realm. When we realized one of our business partners was less than honest, we lost the business and were left with a huge debt to pay off. Now, to be honest with you, I so wanted to reorder my world. I wanted to blame the person who had lied and stolen from the company, but blaming him would not have changed anything. I did a whole lot of introspective work, and there I found myself starting to blame myself for not seeing things earlier. It did not change anything, or making me, it only made me feel worse. But as I did this inner work, I came to see where I could have done better. I came to the conclusion that I was in integrity throughout the whole situation, because all along I was doing my best at the time. So there was no need to feel guilty or bad about myself. There was no reason to blame myself, especially because I wasn't the one who had stolen and who had caused the business to fail. This is what I mean, to always do your best. When you do your best, you are going to be more productive. You are going to be good to yourself because you are giving your best to your family, to your community, to your business, to absolutely everything. When you do your best, you take action. An action that is backed with integrity, love, and wisdom. You do your best when you love what you are doing without expectation of a reward. You know, whatever you do, there's always something that's going to come back. So if you are expecting it to come back in a certain way, you're setting yourself up, and that's not doing the best you can. Now, most people, however, do the exact opposite. They take action when they expect some sort of a reward. And if one is truthful with themselves, they realize that doing life like this is seldom fulfilling. Now, Don Miguel speaks this as an example of what I just spoke about. Most people go to work every day just thinking about the payday and the money they will get from the work they are doing. They can hardly wait until the day they receive their money and can take time off. They are working for the reward instead of loving what they are doing. And I understand that some people just have to do things that they may not like, but don't have to do that for the long run. And as a result, many times these individuals end up resenting their place of employment and in turn hating their job and hating their life. This makes it more and more difficult for them to do their best. Now, on the other hand, if you take action without expecting a reward, you will be more apt to enjoy what it is that you are doing. You just do it because it's what you enjoy doing. You will discover you are not only rewarded financially, you will actually be blessed with ease, joy, and a sense of fulfillment. When you are doing your best, you quiet the inner critic so that there is no reason for you to find fault or blame yourself or even feel guilty. If your inner critic tries to judge you according to your book of laws, you will find yourself not guilty because you did your best. When you do your best, you'll learn that it is okay to be human and divine at the same time, because that's the truth. So in other words, you learn to love and accept yourself without the need to feel guilty. I love to think that everyone is doing the best they can at any given moment. Now, it would be different. It's different for everyone. I know when I'm doing my best and you are doing your best, they may not even look even close. But I still hold the idea that everyone is doing their best. Holding this very thought helps me to remain centered. You see, the very thought that everyone is doing the best they can, coming from where they come from and knowing what they know at any given moment, applies to me and others, even when we act in ways that are less than our ideal. You see, we are growing. We are going toward the light. When we do the best we can, we find it so much easier to be loving and supportive of ourselves and others, and the result is everyone flourishes. We know that God is love. We also know that God is life. And to know God, one must take action in accord with our divine nature. Not the limited ego self nature, but the divine nature. The best way you can tell the universe, I love you, is to live your life doing what you love by doing your best. Ruiz suggests the best way to say thank you, God, is by letting go of the past and living in the here and now. Whatever life may seemingly take away from you, accept it, and you need to let it go. When you let go of what was, you allow yourself to be fully alive in this moment. Letting go of the past allows you to enjoy the dream that is happening right now. So how much time do you spend going over and over the past, especially with the things you are not happy with or how they turned out? Somehow in our inner dialogue, we have gotten the message or the story that we think that if we keep looking at what we do not have, we have not accepted over and over again, it will somehow change to what we want. And that's a lie. You cannot change the past. If you refuse to let go of what has happened or anything in your past that causes upset, you cannot enjoy your present life because you are wishing that things were different than it is. So you are not in agreement, in accord with the now. Now, if you want to be balanced, if you want peace, if you want joy and love to return to your life, I suggest you do your best to practice this tiny but very powerful statement. Acceptance is my key to serenity. Practice this. Again, acceptance is my key to serenity. Accept the truth that you cannot change the past. No amount of going over and over again in your mind will change the past. Accept the truth that the past is over. The moment you accept the past as being over, the windows of heaven open for serenity and balance to come in. I believe that you were born to be happy. You were born with the intention to be an expression of love and light into this world. You were born to love and to share that love freely. Since God has deemed you worthy to be in human form, take your life, do the best with it, and enjoy it. It is of utmost importance that when you are guided to say no to something, just say no. I used to be afraid to say no in fear that I would be rejected or that I would be judged harshly by others. And actually, I was also fearful that I myself would beat myself up. But by always saying yes, even when I did not want to or even felt guided to, only put me off balance. And to be honest, I never did my best because my heart was not into it. Now, in my journey, I found that I can say no without feeling guilty. It is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. I started practicing saying no when I understood that the world would still go on without me doing the things that were not for me to do, even when my ego said otherwise. Well, I have to do that. No, I don't. You see, it is imperative you do your best to love yourself. Every aspect of yourself, especially when you make a so-called mistake. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to your mind, your body, and your emotions. You see, every time you practice loving this magnificent creation of God, known as you plant more seeds of love into your mind and into your body. And in time, they will grow. You will become even more loving and kind. And your life, well, it will unfold in amazing ways. As you honor yourself by practicing these 4 agreements, you will rise out of the hell that you have been experiencing. There is no way, if you are impeccable with your word, if you do not take anything personally, if you stop making up stories and assuming, if you do your best, then you will create a beautiful life. It's time to get out of your head and start living from your heart. The heart that is open and balanced produces a wonderful life. Now, I'm not going to tell you that this is easy. For me, there are times that I still struggle with it, but the results are well worth the effort. So here's the deal. I dare you to practice these agreements. I dare you to be bold enough to work on practicing them daily. Just do your best every day. And as John Blytheway would say, inch by inch, life's a cinch. Yard by yard, life is hard. I want to thank you. And I want to take this moment to truly thank you from the bottom of my heart for you tuning in today. I want to say thank you also for all of you who continue to support this ministry. Your ongoing prayers, support, and financial contributions are necessary to keep us operating. Now, if you care to contribute in a financial way, you can send a tithe or a gift to Unity Life Enrichment Center at 10417 South Orange Blossom Boulevard, Sebring, Florida, 33875. Just make a check out to Unity, or you can make it out to Unity Life Enrichment Center, whichever you wish. Then send it to our mailing address. Again, that number is 10417 South Orange Blossom Boulevard, Sebring, Florida, 33875. Also, right below this video, we have made it possible for you to give online. Now, if you have a prayer request, I suggest you simply call the office, which is 863-471-1122, and leave a message. Messages are checked daily. Be assured your prayer request will remain confidential. If you wish, you can also send your requests and any comments or questions about today's lesson via email. Our email address is unitysebring@gmail.com. Now, if you are in need of one-on-one prayer, Silent Unity is there for you. And their phone number is 1-800-669-7729. Call that number, and there will be someone on the other end of the line who will listen to you and pray with you. If you have not done that yet, if you have not called Silent Unity, I suggest that you do. It is absolutely amazing to feel that power that has been growing and evolving for over 120 years. Now, if you are on Facebook, you are invited to join me and Adam Abbott on Sunday morning around 10:30 on our Facebook page. There you can join us in a time of meditation and prayer. If you have not yet liked our Facebook page, please do so now. The link to like us is just right of this video. Select the link and you will have access to us on your own page. Now, it's not only just for the Sunday morning Facebook Lives, but we also post messages to let you know what's happening and upcoming. Now, the big question is, our Board of Trustees, what decision have they made? And at present, the Board of Trustees has once again sought Spirit's guidance, and the majority have been given the green light to reopen. So, we are going to reopen next Sunday, September 6, 2020. Now, if you have email, we'll be sending you our reopening protocols and procedures. If you are not on our email notification list, we will be sending out a letter through the Postal Service, provided we have your address. Now, if we don't have either one of those, I have no way in which I can let you know what all of them are, but all the protocols and procedures are. So I'm going to go over that just really quickly right now. There will be some changes for sure, and reopening safety protocols and procedures for everyone's safety and peace of mind. For instance, when you arrive at the front door, you will have your temperature checked, and you'll be asked a few simple questions in accord with CDC guidelines. In accord with our insurance company, you will be asked to sign a liability waiver, and the waivers will be made available in the lobby. And basically, it's just saying is that you are taking the responsibility for your actions and not hold the church liable in case you should get COVID. Masks will be required while you are in the building. Now, if you do not have a mask, we have reusable and disposable ones available. For your information, we will not be serving refreshments, nor will we be holding monthly potlucks at this time. However, please feel free to bring your own beverage or your own snack. At this time, we will not be holding children's church. However, our nursery will be open. Our nursery safety protocols, for those, contact our office. To encourage social distancing, the following changes will take place. In accord with CDC guidelines, tables have been spaced differently, and there are only 4 chairs at each table. We ask that no additional chairs to be added to the tables. The rows of chairs have been moved to allow more space between the rows and will be marked to show what 6-foot distancing looks like in the row. Of course, family members may sit together, but individuals, we suggest and encourage you to follow the distancing guidelines. The choir will not be meeting at this time. However, we will still have congregational singing and special soloists because we're wearing a mask. And at this time, we ask everyone to refrain from hugging and handshakes, which I know is going to be one of the hardest things that we have to do, which also includes us after singing "We Are All Friends Here." In its place, I suggest, and we all suggest, and I've talked about this on the board for months, that we just offer each other at this time a namaste gesture that is provided if you wish to do so. For now, we are not going to form a circle for the peace song, but instead we're going to sing it in place. And we request that when service is complete, that people will exit from the back of the sanctuary first, followed by the next group, and those in the front will be last to exit. In other news, we will not be producing a weekly bulletin. Also, the offering baskets and welcome packets will not be passed during service, but our ushers will be in the lobby at the close of service to accept your tithes and offerings, along with handing out welcome packets for newcomers. All chairs and surfaces will be sanitized after each service. If you are interested, and we hope you are, in helping with this monumental undertaking, please contact Tina or Kim Timmerman so that you can be trained on how this is accomplished. Many hands make light work. You can let them know by just contacting the office, either through our email or through giving us a call. Now, this is going to be our last online recorded weekly lesson. If you would like to have an audio recording of our future services, we are going to offer CDs. And if you would like a CD mailed to you, please contact Tina in the office. Again, our number is 863-471-1122. And you may also order CDs by emailing us at unityofsebring@gmail.com. gmail.com. The cost of the CDs are $5 each, and if mailed, the cost of mailing is an additional $1.10. CDs are compiled and they are sent out on a monthly basis. For the foreseeable future, we will continue to offer the daily word and meditation on our Facebook page for all those who prefer not to wear a mask and those who prefer to stay home until they are comfortable in returning. Lastly, the board requests that you lovingly cooperate with these temporary procedures for everyone's well-being. Your board has worked hard to address the many issues regarding a safe return, but just know there may be something that we did not catch. So there may be other situations that arise that may require some sort of change. Please bear in mind that all of these procedures have been made with everyone's best interest taken into consideration. Your safety and healthful well-being is of utmost importance to us. Also know that these changes and requirements, they are going to be just temporary, and they will be reassessed and adjusted as outward conditions dictate. We affirm that you will join us on September 3rd, 2020, for our Sunday in-person service at 10:30 a.m., or you can join us on Facebook. We sure are looking forward to seeing you when the time and conditions are right for you. Peace. I am so looking forward to seeing you all soon. So until we meet again, I affirm that you are whole and you are healthy. I affirm you and I continue to spread the love and the joy of God with everyone you think about and everyone you meet. God bless you. See you at church. Bye now.